The key to providing a secure software supply chain without slowing developers down is to make that secure path the default path. There shouldn't be extra steps, and certainly not manual ones, for a developer to undertake at that point of pulling a package. It should just be baked into the system, that kind of golden path. There should be no extra thought or steps for a developer to take to be secure. Typically, developers are pulling from public registries, and that's a problem right off. You want to put a private registry, you want to put some kind of buffer or secure layer between the end developer and the potentially insecure packages. One of the best ways to make this whole process work effectively is to rely on automation. Automation. And policies are a really key part of that, because you can apply them at the global levels, like global configuration, and that can represent your default secure posture.
The easiest way to describe a golden pathway, it's a pre-approved, well-defined way of doing something, but designed in such a way that you can do the secure way easily. The important thing about that is that it's easy. So if it's not easy for a developer, then they're going to circumvent it, they're going to do their own thing, and they'll bypass it, which kind of defeats the object. So in terms of dependency management, it's a pre-configured private registry, which developers can use by default, with your upstream proxies configured to support all of the ecosystems that your teams might use. The reason this is super important is because that means developers don't have to think about security, and they can effectively apply those patterns and the standard toolchain, and in effect, like, the policies just get applied automatically. The alternative to that is pretty messy. So what you'll end up with is teams doing it on their own, and they'll define different security controls that actually means that you've got inconsistencies and could potentially, I guess, introduce additional levels of risk to your organization, which you want to avoid.
I think that there's an awful lot developers have to do generally with testing and, I suppose, all of the things that it takes to build a product. And the more burden you put on your developers to take care of all of these compliance activities, like generating SBOMs or storing those SBOMs, it's probably not going to be great for adoption. So one approach you could take is just make sure that the SBOM generation is part of your build pipeline. It can be some simple steps that you put in place via a template, and then you can automate all of it. Make sure that the SBOM is generated and sent to whatever sort of central storage or however it is that you want to store it and make available to internal teams or external customers who need to use it. The other thing you can do is make the results of the SBOMs, or make the SBOMs themselves accessible and available to your developers and to other teams who are interested in them. That way you might see some more ownership being taken over it. They can see the results, they can see where their license issues might be, where their vulnerabilities might be. And if that information is extremely transparent, then that's something that can really help with the self-service aspect of it.